Alright, what's up everyone? How's it going? Tori might be able to fix his internet issue and join us in a little bit. But right now, we're just going to do a stripped down version of the post-game show. Just me and you. Let's have a little chat about our Blazers, the game tonight. Just want to double check everything's working okay. Can you hear me? Everything good? Are you there, chat? Maybe. Alright, cool. Everything's working alright. So Blazers tonight get a 122 to 92 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. Tori did not die, Gabe. His internet was just having some major issues. Since his stream died, he's gone to the store to purchase a new router, hoping that'll fix some of his issues. Let me see. I'm going to try to fix my sound. All my stuff's turned up all the way, so I don't know why it's quiet. Is it quiet for everyone? Alright, so how's everyone doing? The Blazers, it's not February anymore, so they actually win a game. They ruin some tank odds here, but let's see. Tori's messaging me right now. He says his S is still screwed, so do what you want. Alright. Yeah, so we're just going to be chilling on this one. Thank you to all for joining us. I'm so sorry we are having issues and couldn't do the regular show earlier. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming in and being here on a late Friday night. Hope everyone's having a good day. So what did you guys think of the game? There were several good performances in this one. Yeah, I did talk to Rich for a little bit, but it was kind of last minute. I didn't want to spring it on him. But hopefully he joins us later. Yeah, the Blazers played really well in this one. I mean, it was against the Grizzlies, who the Blazers had the better team in this one. Anthony Simons had a horrible first quarter, but then played really well. I thought the last two quarters he played. Most of the starters didn't play much in the fourth. Somehow Jeremy still managed to play 33 minutes, though, which is funny. He did not have a good game either. 4 of 10 from the field, only 2 rebounds, 10 points, but was a plus 27. So he was in there when we went on a run. Dwop got the start for DeAndre Ayton, who wasn't able to go tonight. Missed his first 5 threes, I think, and then hit 2 in the second half. He had 18 points. Tamani Kamara, only 4 points, but had 7 rebounds, and played pretty well defensively. Chris Murray had one of his best games as a pro, scoring 14 points, including 2 of 3 from 3, and played some really nice defense. Off the bench, Jabari Walker had a monster game, talking crap to Marcus Smart on the bench. And he has 19 and 10, double-double for him. Also had 2 really beautiful passes in this game. I think both of them were to Thibault, but at least one of them was to Thibault. And so, yeah, really nice game from Jabari. Moses Brown makes his return from injury, somehow still on the roster. He goes 3 for 3, scores 7 points in just 9 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad to have him back out there on the floor, but we kind of needed some depth at center with DeAndre out. Thibault he can't hit a three still, 1 of 4. His 3-point percentage continues to plummet, but he did score 13 points. And had his usual 3 steals. Higgins, I thought, had a really decent game for. I mean, his stats don't look great. Only 2 for 5 from the field. Had a couple of nice finishes and also had a couple of nice dimes. So yeah, I thought he played decent. I thought Delano Banton was excellent off the bench. Takes 15 shots though. Scores 19 points. Had 7 rebounds. Played some good defense as well. 3 assists to go along with that. A couple blocks. I thought this was just a really good game from him. And then Rayan Rupert finally gets in a game. It's 7 minutes of garbage time at the end. He didn't get in when it mattered, but he scores 5 points in 7 minutes, hits a 3, gets to the free throw line. Also had a couple of nice passes. Tried to attempt an alley-oop that got knocked away, but I thought he looked pretty solid out there as well. And then the only other player that played that we didn't talk about was Ibu Baji. Played 4 minutes, didn't really do anything in his 4 minutes other than commit a couple fouls and get a defensive 3-second call on him. But that's pretty much everyone for the Blazers. What performances stood out for you guys in this one? I see Eric Olson is dominating the chat. He has the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 messages. Thank you. Thank you for interrupting that, TC Sports Legend. Yeah, so TC Sports Legend says, I told you guys we're ready for this playoff run late season. If you do the math, it's definitely not going to happen. But, yeah, it's fun joking around about it, I guess. Wes Davidson says his favorite part was Banton hitting some threes. He had like a logo 3 and also like a step back 3 with the shot clock running or the time running out in one of the quarters. Man, yeah. If he could hit crazy threes like that, which I'm not assuming he will, but yeah. It was a crazy game for him. He's usually not hitting those kind of things. What's up, Devin? I am doing well. I hope you are as well. Taylor Packer was in earlier, said this was just the second game I missed this season. Looks like Delano was great, though. Did he look legit? Yeah. I mean, he looked as legit as you can get, I guess. He looked like a solid rotation player tonight. Like I said, it helps when you hit threes, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, he had some nice drives. He really he played some good defense. So yeah, I thought this was a good Banton game. I don't know. I still don't know if he's going to be on the team next year, just because there's a lot of roster spot issues. It might depend on who's traded, if we're able to unload some of the bets and stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of weird not knowing if he's even going to be around past this season. It's kind of like, Cam Reddish and Kevin Knox and stuff last season. But Kevin Knox is now back in the Blazers organization as the Rip City Remix re-signed him today. So we got Kevin Knox back, I guess. But yeah. What's up, JP Savvy? How you doing, man? Bonnie asked if I shaved my head. I didn't. I mean, I kind of did. I gave myself the free haircut, but I do have hair. Yeah, so not completely bald. I shaved it pretty short on the sides. But yeah, just every once in a while I like to. I still have a beard. You just can't see it very well on camera. But yeah, so it'll grow back in a couple days. But yeah, for those that don't know, I am not bald. I do have hair. I just like to wear a hat on streams. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, Banton's not a bad guy to have on the end of your roster. It's just, like I said, it's tough to see a scenario where the Blazers ducked attacks keep him on the roster and have enough roster spots to, fit 2 more draft picks and 2 second-round picks. I don't know if they're going to use 2 ways for that or what. But, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could trade... they could do some trades where, you trade Brogdon for a couple of guys making half of what he makes, and then those guys get traded into trade exceptions or something into other teams or cap space or something. Maybe there's a way to figure that out. Maybe they attach the draft picks to go after one player and then get under the cap or something that way. But it's tricky with how many. They don't have many guys who are free agents this summer, so they don't have a lot of maneuverability with this roster, and then the financial part of it being in the tax already without even getting to free agency or keeping guys like Banton. It's just going to be interesting to see what they do. They did guarantee when Uprise signed his contract, it was a 3-year deal. Next year is fully guaranteed. The third year, 2 seasons from now, is non-guaranteed. So they put $2 more million on their books for next year, or close to $7 million, depending on where their draft picks land. Could be less, could be more into the tax without Banton. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going to do in that situation. Banton's on. It's not quite a minimum. I don't think it's like, but it's basically a minimum. It's just under $2 million, I think, next year. But they owe him like 200 and some thousand if they cut him, so it's not fully non-guaranteed. But yeah. Jim Chan says the final score was pretty amazing considering that first period. Yeah, man, this game was so rough to watch at the beginning. It was brutal, and I mean, to be honest, I was sitting there being like, how am I gonna get through a whole game watching this crap? Because it was bad, man. Like both teams just could not do anything. I was talking to, or I was in a group chat with Crushables, and he was saying, well, any team score 20 points this quarter, and the Grizzlies end up getting to 21, I think, in the quarter. So they actually put together a little bit, and then from there, they just sucked the rest of the game. The Blazers actually played pretty well after the first quarter. They had a huge second quarter, and then blew the game open in the second half. Memphis felt like they didn't really threaten that much after the Blazers took a double-digit lead. But yeah, it's kind of weird because like these are the games that can really help you in the tank race when you lose these kind of games. So I'm guessing Grizzly fans are feeling pretty good right now tonight about losing this game and possibly thinking about moving up in the race. But there's also same exact scenario, same team tomorrow night. I'm guessing a lot of the injuries will be the same for Portland. Guys like DeAndre who sat out tonight. I don't expect him to play tomorrow either. And actually for the Blazers, they got a huge advantage with this being a blowout because Jeremy and Anthony didn't play. I mean, Jeremy, like I said, still played over 30 minutes, but he didn't have to play the last 7 minutes or whatever. Anthony, I don't think, played at all in the fourth quarter. So those guys will be a lot fresher than some of the Grizzlies players. And their coach, Jenkins, he took some really quick timeouts in this game at the beginning of quarters. And he looked very frustrated with his team's performance. So I expect them to come out and play pretty hard tomorrow night. But Memphis is like such a weird team right now. They have some players, And they have some young guys who have had some good games recently, but they either like get blown out or they like upset a team and win. And tonight was one of the bad ones for them. They get blown out. So it'll be interesting to see what team shows up for Memphis tomorrow night. But yeah, we'll see. In Mount South, should the Blazers sign Kenneth Lofton? He was released by the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. I I think I'd be cool if they signed him. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be surprised if they made moves like that this season. And also, Lofton, I think one of the reasons Philly cut him was he's been injured since they signed him pretty much. So he hasn't really had a lot of time on the court for them. So if he's injured, I don't think Portland would mess around with that. They didn't sign him last time as a free agent either. Kyle Neely's trying to trigger me by saying Banton is greater than Anthony Simons. Yeah, good take, man. Yep. Guy on a minimum contract that got traded for a top 55 protected second pick is better than someone that's averaging over 20 points a game and is seeing the type of defensive coverage that only elite stars get in a game. Aunt's baby's mama, yeah, she did just have a kid. I'm not sure how much that's affecting Anthony or not. I do think it's more just he's learning how to deal with just everything going wrong, and then all the defense just taking him out of a game. And this isn't an excuse or anything, but like I think he has one of the toughest situations in the NBA when the defense is completely keyed on you, and you don't have the greatest team, and so no matter what you do, it's like the wrong thing. You kick out to a shooter, they miss a three, you drive, and you don't get any love from the refs either. Like, he can't buy a foul call. I was looking at I forgot who I saw this on Twitter, but someone listed like all the top pick and roll players, like pick and roll drives, and their points per possession on the drives, and Anthony was the worst out of like the people who do it, like the top 10 or whatever most in a game. And Anthony had by far the fewest amount of foul calls. Like, it wasn't even close. It was like horrendous compared to the other ones. Like, he never gets calls. And a little bit, you have to draw the contact, you have to accentuate it, you have to make it look like it's more than it is sometimes. Like, obviously the guys like SGA and Luka and Dame, those guys became a lot better at it as their careers went on. So yeah, it's up to Ant. He has not played particularly well for several weeks now. And I don't know. I feel like at times he does do a good job at handling that pressure. He had another really nice pass. He's become really good, especially with Ayton on that little no-look bounce pass in between the two defenders when he's double-teamed, giving us an advantage. But yeah, and then you watch that play right before half where Williams was expecting him to like dribble out a second, and he crosses him over, takes it, and then goes in between like two Grizzlies players and dunks it. And you're just like, where's that been, Anthony? Like, where's that aggression? And I feel like that kind of got him going. But yeah, I mean, 8 assists tonight. I thought, other than his shooting struggles at the beginning of the game, at the first play of the game where Blazers get an offensive rebound, he turns the ball over. I thought he was solid tonight. I don't think he was necessarily bad, and I do think it's a little unfair to say, well, he's been in the league this many years, or he should know by now, or whatever. Like, I mean, nothing can really prepare you for NBA players to game plan specifically to shut you down. A whole team's defense predicated on shutting you down and double teaming you and taking you out of the game. You do have to have some sort of learning curve. Even Dame struggled with that for years. I mean, the Grizzlies or the Pelicans series. I'm not making excuses, Kyle. But the Pelicans series was in 2018. That was Dame's 6th year in the league. His 6th year. And he got completely taken out of the Pelicans series in his 6th season. So if you want to, I mean, I'm sure you're going to hate on Dame too, but like, I mean, that 6 seasons in, Dame was still having issues when a team double teamed him in the playoffs. So, like, I don't think it's a case of, oh, well, you should be used to it because you're in your whatever season. Up until last year, I mean, he was mostly just a catch and shoot guy off the bench. Like, he's never had to run an offense, been the main guy, the main scoring option, and had all the defensive attention. So it's not an excuse. It's a fact. I don't know. Like, he needs to play better. I've already said that. He hasn't played well through the last few weeks. But this is what he needs to do. So we'll see. Throughout the course of this year, as the Blazers start to build this team back up stronger and better, he's got to then improve with that coverage. And maybe it's as simple as the Blazers get better players, so they're not able to key on him as much, and it's an easier solution than that. But there's not many players in the league that have to deal with having a crappy team and then also having to deal with like all this pressure. I mean, his gravity and his amount of attention the defense is getting is right up there with every single star player in this league. And that's not something you can just throw away as an excuse. I don't know. Just like there's nuances to this conversation, man. It's like Anthony can be playing bad, but it also doesn't mean he's like a terrible player or trash or whatever. The letter O says the book is also out that Ant doesn't go left well. Yeah, that may be the case, but I mean, he hasn't had to, right? He hasn't had to. Haberstroh is struggling to find positive stats for Simons. I don't know, he had one tonight about how Simons was the third most blitzed player in the pick and roll in the league. And the top 8 other than him were all all-stars. Or have been all-stars. And they're all, like I said, elite players. So like everything gravity-wise and attention-wise are those of being an elite all-star player. And he's not that. He's not. I mean, he could get to that someday. I think he could figure that out and get close to that. I'm just saying, like, he's getting the attention of a top 10 player in the league, and that, I mean, that has to mean something. I don't know. I mean, He had 8 assists and 2 turnovers tonight. That's not. I mean, he didn't score a lot tonight. So what? Taki says, I thought he would be better than Maxey, but he's not. Well, Maxey's really freaking good, too, and Maxey was an all-star this year. But Maxey also has Joel Embiid. And how has Maxey been the last few weeks without Embiid? He's starting to struggle a little bit. And it's not... I mean, he's had some good games without Embiid, but that was when Embiid was, like, in and out of the lineup. But now that Embiid's out of the lineup for several weeks, it's getting harder for him to run and do the same things he was doing with Embiid. And that's the whole point with Anthony, is that he doesn't have like, we suck. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, if we had Shaden Sharp or someone that was taking a little bit of pressure off of Anthony, like, I think it would be a different story. But yeah, I don't know what, like, how he's supposed to get better. Trevor, do you have, like, the exact numbers? I mean, like, okay, Anthony's not a great player yet. He's a good player. Like, I don't know. I mean, I just, you don't think he's our guy? I mean, who on our team? Like, we don't have a guy. Like, it's not. How can you judge that right now? Like, you know, our team's not good. It's terrible. We're awful. Like, he's got no shooting. Like, we're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. We're one of the worst offensive teams in the league. We have. I don't know. I don't know what you expect from him. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping he'd be a little better this season as well. And his shooting struggles have been an issue, but I also wasn't expecting him to see the defensive attention he has. I don't think he's going anywhere. So I don't want to keep having this conversation either. It's yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, like, how many other 20-point per game scorers get as much crap as some of our own fan base gives Anthony Simons. Like, I don't understand, man. Like, we're not good. We're not even trying to be good this year. Like, it doesn't. I mean, they were trying to be good, but they're not right now. Like, he's got freaking Duop Reith as a starting center. Tamani Kamara, a rookie second-round pick, is starting with him. Chris Murray, the 23rd pick, is also a rookie who has done nothing this season, really, is also a starter tonight. Like, I mean, what are we expecting from this guy? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just feel like some people don't have any. It's like you're either awesome or you suck. Like, there's no in between. It's just. Blazer fan, I talked about Banton a little bit ago. I like him as an end of bench guy, but I don't know long term. I don't know if he's going to be on the team past the season. So. Yeah, I mean, even if this is the best version of Anthony, he's still a 20 point per game scorer. Like I don't know why that's like bad. Like it's still he's like 20 and 6, 23 and 6 or something. What is he averaging this year? And is supposed to be our best player. Guess he's not now. I'll stop harping on it. Who's been better than him this season? Delano Banton. What's up, Javon? What's up, Christopher? Bubba asked, "What's for dinner for me?" I had chicken and mashed potatoes and broccoli, cauliflower, carrot mix thing. Devin says, "I'm missing the point. Blazers need a true alpha like Kevin Knox." True. Well, we haven't. We have him back. So there you go, Devin. We got him back. Yeah, his first game of the first play of the game was a turnover. Yeah, he lost the ball. Okay, it happens. He didn't have a turnover again until late in the third quarter, and that was he had 8 assists in between those two turnovers. Wes Davidson said, "Have you laid your eyes on Filipowski from Kentucky yet? Is he any good?" You mean Filipowski on Duke? And yeah, I watched Duke play a lot. Is that who you're talking about? Vinny B says the Blazers are quickly becoming the most toxic fan base in the NBA, full of ungrateful trolls who love to hate for no reason. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know, man. It's weird how like you either have to love or hate a player. You can't ever go with the ups and downs and think that there's better days ahead or whatever. Like it's weird, man. I mean, yeah, Anthony is not Damian Lillard. Congratulations, good observation. Yeah, Filipowski's on Duke West. He's. I don't think his game is going to. I don't think his game is going to translate well to the NBA. I think he'll be okay. I think his defense will be a little slow. I think he's just. I think he'd get cooked as a center, but he's not quick enough to play power forward in the NBA. I think. Yeah, I mean, he'll be okay. He'll be able to score a little bit, but I think a lot of the ways he gets his points work because he's playing against college level players. He's going to have a tough time putting the ball on the floor and scoring in the NBA, I think. And then his defense, I think, will make it tough for him to play a ton. But yeah, there's a lot of other big guys that I like better than him, like Khalil Ware, Missy. Obviously, other guys we've talked about, like Sar and stuff like that. But yeah, if you want a power forward / big man that can defend and play and score and stuff, I think there's better options. Deron Holmes, yeah. Well, I think Aaron says the Blaze fans need to calm down and let the tanking be hold. Well, the problem is it's like confusing because like you're watching a game and you're happy players are playing well. Um, but yeah, yeah. What is my dog doing? What are you doing? You want up? Sorry, I don't know what my dog's doing right now. Do you need out? Christopher asks if I've heard of Robbie Avila from Indiana State. Of course, man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I've definitely heard of him. Yeah, if you want to know how I play, just watch him. Unathletic dude who can score, passes the ball like crazy. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, he's not an NBA player or anything. So just like me. But yeah, that's kind of how I play. Is kind of like him. Very flat-footed on layups and just use different angles and muscle and fat to get your way around the hoop. Sorry guys, I don't know what the heck my dog is doing. Man, yeah, can chat bring up something else to talk about? JP says Rupert got minutes. Yeah, unfortunately it was garbage time, so it didn't really matter that much. But man, it's good to see him out there. He looks so lengthy and just. I mean, that's the kind of like size and athletic ability that you want out of a forward. And I really. Man, yeah, I mean, he's looking good. I just want to see him play. And then you see him, he makes a mistake or whatever, and you're like, dang, why can't he play so he gets to learn how to not do stuff that he's doing, or, overplay on defense, or, dribble into traffic when he shouldn't, and things like that. Like, those are little things that would help him so much right now. Like, why? That's the most important thing. I've been saying it since before the season even started. I just want him to. Players like him, I wanted Scoot and Shaden to be the same way. Just get those guys as many reps as possible. And I don't understand why he would not be in the rotation if he's healthy right now. That's the kind of guy, it's like his game, I guess, kind of reminds me of Batum, but more than just his game, it's his situation. And Batum, Summer League, training camp, he looked like he was not ready for the NBA. He looked like he was like years away from playing. But what happens his first year, he gets a ton of playing time. He ends up starting, and he just grows so much, and he looks like a completely different player getting minutes and stuff. It's kind of like, I mean, Rupert's a lot younger than Tamani, so it's a little unfair, but like Tamani, I think he had a role at the beginning of the season, and you could see him like learning to how to play in the NBA. And I really just wish that Repair could get that for the next the rest of the season, because I really think he has the skills and stuff to do that kind of stuff. Brandon Tatum, what's up, man? He says tomorrow we're gonna lose by 30. Yeah, but that's, I mean, that'd be good, right? I think if we're talking about winning both games, which is certainly a possibility because the Grizzlies looked absolutely terrible tonight. Um, Hopefully, Gigi Jackson or someone goes off, and we can lose tomorrow night. At this point, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not actively rooting that for them to lose, but I am good with them losing pretty much every game from here on out. Like, I don't think they need to win to feel good or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm not rooting for it, but it would be nice if they, uh, they don't have to lose by 30. They could, they could, play tough, have a nice close game, and lose at the end. That'd be fine with me. I just hopefully they don't blow them out again because it doesn't give you good reps. Like I said, Rupert's minutes. I mean, he got minutes, but I don't feel like those are good reps when you're just playing against a team that's losing by 30 and they've already given up on the game. So yeah, I don't necessarily want us to blow them out again or get blown out. Um, but yeah, I want them to get into some NBA games and play. Lose an OT. Yeah, I don't think we need to like strain anyone either to do it, but Jeremy and Anthony are gonna play and stuff like that. So and Scoot and Sharp and those guys are out. But this was also our first. This is the first game all season. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is the first game all season we've won without Malcolm Brogdon. So, um, you know, I was thinking about what Joe Cronin, who was actually at the remix game tonight, I think. So, Joe was down there supporting them. But I was thinking, what would Joe Cronin think about this game while I was watching it? Just trying to think of ways to keep myself entertained through this game. And yeah, so I bet he was sitting there thinking, we had a really rough stretch in February, but this game showed our resolve, and really happy with where we're at right now because they showed they can dig deep and get a victory. So Todd forgot Brogdon was on our team. Yeah, I don't know how you could forget that considering we chose not to trade him at the deadline. TC Sports Legend says, on March 9th, I'm going to the game. I'm 7-0 when going to games. Sorry, guys. Who were we playing that night? I know we have some tough games. That's not the OKC game. But I thought we were playing someone good in that game, too. Oh, it's the Raptors. Yeah. Oh, why are you going to that game? Go to the OKC game or something, dude. Just kidding. Yeah. So do you want your streak to end, or do you want to see the Blazers beat the Raptors? Wes Davidson said we really proved we could compete in the G League tonight. Yeah, we did. We've won our game for March. We're done, says MGJJ123. Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with that if this is our one win in March. Got it. But I said they go. There were 17 games in March. I said they go 4-13 or 5-12, and I think some of you thought that was too high last night or the last post game show. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Vinny that I don't want Anthony to be shut down this season. I think we're bad enough that we don't have to. But I think he needs. I think you're right that he needs those. He needs those reps to learn. Just keep learning how to deal with it, and maybe get some confidence back and learn how to get free throws. Who the Blazers picking with that number one pick, says Little Scrappy. Well, if they get the number one pick, they better take Alex Sarr because he could be a game changer for this team. An athletic big man who can defend multiple positions, is fine switching onto guards, and is an awesome rim protector. That is just that'd be ideal for us. And if we don't get the number one pick and Chomsky declares for the draft, I think he could be a game changer on that end too, and also maybe have some high potential on offense. But that's more with the Golden State pick. Hard to get the number one pick if you keep winning. Well, I mean, it's like 10.5% versus 12.5% or something like that. So it's a 2% less chance right now if we hang on to the 5th spot. TC Sports Lighter says, do you think Jabari Walker is an upgrade or downgrade to Zach Collins? Well, I mean, I don't want to make this sound negative, but he's definitely a downgrade to Zach if Zach's healthy. Just because Zach had the potential to be a game changer on defense. But I mean, if you factor in injuries, obviously Jabari's been much healthier. But Zach is just, I mean, he's taller. He has better rim protection skills, better defensive skills, a little more grit to him. But Jabari's a better rebounder. Both have questionable shooting. Although Zach was good shooting last year, hasn't been good this year. But Zach, I mean, people forget Zach played so well his second year that he had earned the starting power forward job going into his third year. And then he gets hurt in game 3. Comes back, and we're actually, I think we're 9-3. He played 12 games that year. I think we're 9-3 in those games. So we were really good that year, and we were under 500, well under 500 in the rest of the games. So Zach was an underrated like winning player, like guy that helps you win in the right situation. If he's on, like if Zach was on this team right now, I don't think it matters too much. Like I think they're pretty even. MGJJ says it'll be nice to look forward to seasons when we root to win again. Hopefully not too many more of these. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not the type that minds tanking. It's really hard to do, to like watch every game and do shows about him and things like that. Yeah. Matt Cardle, I'm not going to read the second part of that, but do I think Jabari's an upgrade over Myers Leonard? Yes, I do. but yeah, I mean, I don't know. My heart, my emotions, my level of. I mean, you guys know this about me. Whether it's healthy or not, I absolutely have between the Blazers and the 49ers and the Beavers. I I mean, I get mad, I get happy, I get sad, I get I like they're how they do affects my life, and you know, you can say that's stupid or that I'm an idiot or whatever, but that's just how it is. I am passionate. I care about those teams, and I absolutely uh, live and die off them. Like it doesn't. I'm not gonna like go beat my kids or something if the Blazers lose. It's not like that. But like outside of my family, it's like the most important thing in my life, and I know that sounds lame, but yeah, I mean, I would man, I just keep thinking about if the Blazers actually won a championship, how much that would mean to me and stuff, and um, so I have a friend at work who is also a 49ers and Blazers fan, and we're like so pumped for the Super Bowl and stuff, and now every day we're just like, we're cursed, like this sucks. You know, like we just keep thinking about what it would have been like if the Niners pulled it off or whatever. And even as a diehard Niner fan, it still wouldn't mean as much as the Blazers winning it. That's my team, that's my sport. Like that would mean everything to me, and all the heartache, all the pain, all these boring times watching them would all be worth it if you could see them hoist the trophy and be champions. But yeah, I guess that's why we hang in there, right? As Blazer fans. But yeah. YYC said the Jailblazers had the best team and chance. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That team definitely had the best chance to win, I guess, because all they would have had to do was beat the Pacers had they won Game 7 and held on in 2000. Um, but I don't know, the 90, 91, and 92 team should have. I mean, I wouldn't say it was easier because you had the Bulls, the Pistons, and like really good freaking teams, Lakers. Um, those teams I think were better. It's just it was really hard to win that back then. um, and yeah, we should have. You know, it's the Blazers are a what if team. But you know, if that early '90s team had Sabonis on it, I can't imagine what they'd do. Also, can't imagine if instead of moving on from Drazen, that if they would have kept him and let him play in Portland. And then the same thing happened in 2000 when they lost. They decided to trade Jermaine O'Neal, and they got rid of Brian Grant and brought in like Sean Kemp and fat, out of shape, and druggy Sean Kemp. And then Dale Davis they got for Jermaine O'Neal, and then Jermaine goes on to be an all-star. And yeah, so it's tough, man. MGJJ123 $5 donation. Thank you so much. A true fan roots for their team, win or lose. That is a true fan. Someday maybe. Someday maybe championship. Is that what you're meant to say? Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like to tell people how to be a fan or whatever. But yeah, I I don't know. I definitely, yeah, I'll stick with them. I mean, it was really tough to stick with the Blazers during the Jailblazers era. It just really was. It's just when you have trouble like rooting for some of the players on your team, when they underachieve, when they start talking back to fans and stuff like that, is, I don't know, it just makes it really hard. But I mean, I stuck through it, and then Roy, of course, brought us out of it, and then of course he gets hurt, and freaking Odin gets hurt. I don't know. It's like everything is just so crappy. But like I said, all we have to do is win one. Like right now, I just want to get back to being somewhat relevant again. Fox says, remember when Pippen, Shrimp, and Steve Smith came to Portland? He was so excited. Yeah, I mean, that was before the 99-2000 season. And, yeah, great freaking trade to get both Steve Smith and Scottie Pippen. Yeah. Little Scrappy says, what's worse, Jailblazers or this team? I'm going to say, I don't know. Jailblazers are worse. I mean, yeah. And then shout out to you who watch Rip City Retro, but Rich and I have actually gone through we have videos on there where we go through our worst moments as a Blazer fan, our top 10 worst moments. So there's in-depth stuff with all of this. If you want to see more of that, that's on the YouTube channel, Rip City Retro. You might have to search for the videos where we're both on. But, yeah, there's so many as a Blazer fan, man. But yeah, I mean, everyone on the team right now is easy to root for. I mean, even guys that I wanted traded like Jeremy and Malcolm. I mean, those guys are great guys, and I have no problem with them as people. I just thought in the Blazers situation, they'd be better off trading them. But that had nothing to do with their character or anything like that. What was my number one worst moment as a Blazer fan? I mean, it's got to be the 2000 collapse in the playoffs. But right there was in 1991 was our best team. They were 63-19, had the best record in the NBA, and lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Lakers. And that one hurt because Jordan ends up winning his first title that year. If the Blazers end up winning that series, beat Jordan, like the history of the NBA is completely different because the Bulls might have broken up that team because it just wasn't happening for them. We could have prevented that dynasty from happening possibly. I mean, it would have been a really tough series, but we matched up really well against the Bulls. That wasn't the shoulder shrug. So that was the next year. So the Bulls had already won one the next year, and we're all confident, and now we're a championship team. Kind of like the Warriors or whatever. Like, once they won a championship, then they're champions, and they're the team to beat. They finally got over that hurdle. So yeah, like if we would have played them a year before when they were still, it was kind of like when Dallas played LeBron his first year in Miami, and like people were starting to wonder if LeBron's ever going to win a championship or whatever. So yeah, it would have been different. And then uh, people also overlook this, but in 2000, Kobe and Shaq, it was the pressure was monumental on those two. Uh, they had a couple of playoff failures. If they would have lost that series to the Blazers, I think they'd break them up and trade one of them, and then that they go on to win the next three, and that doesn't happen. So the Blazers could have prevented 2 3-peats, I think, if they just do what they should have done in both 91 and 2000. John Nash says wasn't the best team 77-78 season when they went 50-10 before Walton went down. They had the youngest team and would have been a dynasty. Yeah, I mean, they were still a pretty young team. I don't know if they were the youngest team or not. But, yeah, they still had some decent players. Um, I mean, they had some decently young players, I should say. And Walton was only in his, like, 4th year or something. But, yeah, they were absolutely rolling. And they looked awesome. And yeah, I mean, it was before my time, so I can't say more than that. But what could have been, yeah, that's the story of the Blazers, right? At least they won one, though. Walton got us one. Yep. Most exciting moment as a Blazer fan. I mean, the 2 Dame buzzer beater series winners was pretty crazy. So those are up there. Um, yeah, I mean, we won series, like finally getting over the hump and making it to the finals in 90 was awesome. Getting back to the finals in 92 was awesome. Unfortunately, we lost both of those. So the memories of the earlier series, like one of the most excited I've ever gotten outside of Dame's 2 shots was Scottie Pippen hit a 3 against Utah in that 2000 playoffs. And I went nuts. And I accidentally jumped and kicked out my legs, and my foot went right through the wall at this place I was staying at in Corvallis. And yeah, so I put a huge hole in the wall. It wasn't like a punch or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there were lots of moments like that. Did you actually go to the championship parade, Todd? That'd be cool. That's cool, Matt. Um, yeah, the Rockets one, like I'm an unathletic big man, uh, and I swear, if you measured my vertical, it would have been like 40 inches. Like I like cleared my couch. I jumped so high, like I jumped over my couch. Um, yeah, I was, I was going crazy. But then I had that pause, like, oh crap, did that not count? Did he get it off in time? Yeah, fun times. And There was also there was a playoff series in 2003. This was during the Jailblazer stuff. They actually were down 3-0 against Dallas in the first round, came back to tie it 3-3, and lost in Game 7. Could have possibly been the first team to come back from an 0-3 deficit in the NBA. Still hasn't been done. Celtics almost did it this last year, but didn't. But yeah, I was disappointed because the Blazers lost Game 7 and that one as well. The 2000 finals, everyone remembers what happened in the fourth quarter of Game 7, but a lot of people don't remember that they were actually down 3-1 in that series, and came back and they won in LA Game 5. Actually came and camped on the streets of Portland to get tickets to Game 6, and was one of the first people in line. And then only to find out in the morning that they decided to not do it by first come, first serve. They did it by a lottery system. And I just happened to get lucky and be in one of the groups of 100 that they picked to get tickets. And I remember it vividly. It was $34 a ticket. Pretty good seats right in the middle, 200 level. So if you can imagine, Western Conference Final playoff ticket for $34. Just awesome. Yeah, that's how it was back then. So yeah, I was at Game 6 of the 2000 finals, sitting next to a bunch of Laker fans who were talking crap and yelling the entire game. And so yeah, in terms of fan moments, one of the most satisfying experiences was watching all those Laker fans leave as their team lost Game 6, and they looked dejected and stuff like that. But those memories get kind of faded by the fact that we lost the next game, unfortunately. Just like I was at the 4 overtime game as well, with against Denver a couple years ago. Yep, that's why we love sports. And that's why we're all here debating whether Anthony sucks or is good. Right? Oh, MGJJ, I didn't know you were old enough to witness that. How old were you when they won the championship? Mute That Bozo says he was born on the same day as Clyde Drexler. Yeah, that's cool. What? Yeah, so we won, so we can't do Tankathon, right? I don't know what the poll... Tori said if we got 80% or better, he'd still do Tankathon, but I don't know what the poll was because the stream lagged out. Once again, apologize for not having the normal post-game show tonight. Oh, is it 83%? So should I do Tankathon, or do you guys not want me to? I can't bring it up on the screen, but I could... Actually, I might be able to figure this out. Tori says he's calling Comcast tomorrow and standing on business. Let's see if Eric can do this. mess up the ticker on the other page. I don't know. Never mind. Thought I could maybe do it, but now I got this stupid thing. There we go. I tried. I mean, I could just window capture Eric. Okay. Let me try it again then. Window capture. And source. And source. Trying to learn how to do something live on the air. Matt Chapman to sign with the Giants. Why is this not updated? Sorry guys, we'll be done in a second. Okay. Alright. There we go. Kind of got it right. Does that work? Yeah, let's go. Alright, it's kind of small, but we'll deal with it, right? Actually, I might be able to make it bigger. Wow, it is really slowing my computer down. No. I messed that up. Oh well. Alright. Let's just run the sim. Alright. See now, yeah, it's saying it's slowing down my computer. Alright, let's just sim the lottery. Alright, let's scroll up. We'll see what happens. Alright, Golden State. We still got the Golden State pick at 14. Goes to us. We got the Lakers pick going to New Orleans at 13. We have Utah's pick to OKC falling to 12, which means whoever was in 12 moved up into the top 4. Great. We have Atlanta moving down to 11. We have Houston going to OKC at 10, so OKC gets 10 and 12. We have Brooklyn falling a spot. Their pick going to Houston at 9. So Houston loses the 10th pick but gets the 9th pick. At 8, we have Memphis falling 2 spots. So another team moved up into the top 4. 7, we have Charlotte falling 3 spots, which means Portland also moves into the top 4. I have no idea who the other 2 teams in the top 4 are, but Portland is in the top 4. At 6, we have Detroit falling 4 spots. They are now tied with the Wizards, so they are actually in second right now. And Washington moves down 4 spots. So I know Portland and San Antonio are in the top 4. Let's see who's 4. 4 is San Antonio. Man, who is the other teams? Let me look at chat real quick. Who are the other teams, chat? Chicago. Yeah, Chicago, Toronto, and Portland are the top 3. Wow. So Toronto keeps their pick. Chicago gets their pick. All right, let's go back to this. At 3, we have Chicago. Moves up 9 spots, but they get the 3rd pick, so it's down to us and the Raptors for the top 2 picks. This is crazy. At 2, we have Toronto. So your Portland Trailblazers have the number 1 pick. Let's go. Let's go, chat. We did it. We are number 1. I don't know if Tori is cursed or not, because this sim, like Tori says, is drunk. Yeah. This sim was definitely drunk. But I love it. I love it, right? Portland gets the number 1 pick. We get Alex Sarr, hopefully. And then JP Savvy says, welcome to Portland, Nikola Topic. What if we got like Sarr and Tajon Salon at 14? Man, that'd be crazy. The only issue with this is now we're even further into the tax because the number 1 pick is a lot more than the 5th pick. So we are like 10 million in the tax now. So Cronin's gonna have to give someone away. But yeah, that's the problem when you don't make a trade for an expiring contract at the deadline. But yeah, I love this sim a lot, obviously. Is there anyone who does want to make a non-trolling case for taking someone other than Alex Sarr at number 1? Alright, let's see what happens when I take away this Tankathon thing now. Did I mess up my camera? A little bit. It's zoomed in a lot. Oh well. Sorry, you get a more zoomed in version of me. That concludes our Tankathon segment. Tori, get out of here, man. You're not taking Jalen Tyson. Ricochet has a higher floor than who? Get those ratings up. Draft Kai Sota. We don't have to draft him. We could sign him right now, Mute. You think You think Ricochet has a higher floor than Sar? I mean, I guess you could make that argument, but I don't know how you could say that Ricochet has a high floor. I mean, he's fine. He could be a really good prospect. I don't know if you can make. I'm trying to think of anyone. I mean, I think Cody Williams is pretty safe, but I don't know. I don't know if you can say anyone has a high floor like that. I mean, I think they all have risks. But yeah, I agree with Matt Cardle. We do need highest ceiling. Tori says Ricochet is the French Harrison Barnes. So you think he's really good, Tori? Kevin asks where would Sar get drafted in next year's draft. It's really hard to say because I mean it's still a year away, but I don't think he's going ahead of Ace Bailey or Cooper Flagg. So at best third. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean it's still it's so far right now. I know Jonathan Gavoni on ESPN, the Draft Express guy. He moved LeBron or Bronny James to the 2025 draft and has him as the 39th prospect in the 2025 draft. Um, Not relevant to where Sar would go, but sometimes prospects get moved up. But highest floor in this draft might be Reed Shepard. Yeah, I mean that's not bad. Tori says he's higher on Bazelis than he was a couple days ago. He had a really good game today. I think this is the it's kind of the point in this draft. I think Tori's guy Dalton Connect has a really high floor as well. But yeah, I don't know if you necessarily want safe picks here. Yeah, I agree with Elizabeth Allen that Modest is that yeah, that's going to be a little bit predicated on what team he goes to. I don't know if the Blazers are the right or wrong team, but yeah. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or stuff you want to talk about before we end this one? We'll be back tomorrow night. Hopefully, Tori will be able to stream as well. But same team, same time, same post game show. After the same opponent. Yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow night. And then, yeah. We have one more game after tomorrow night on this 3-game road trip at Minnesota. I think that game's on Monday. What are you guys doing this weekend? Anything fun? What do you think will be done to the rules? Are you referring to the NBA saying they need to kind of curb offenses a little bit? Javon says lots of homework. Do you go to Oregon State, Javon? I think they might experiment with changing the rules a little bit on like zone defenses. I think they might. I don't know if they'll get rid of the 3-second defensive 3-second completely, but I don't know. Would that be good or bad if they just did it like college and international, where you could play zone and you didn't have a defensive 3-second? Because I think if you switched it to 5 seconds, or I don't know, just took it away completely, you could change. I mean, it would be a drastic change, but you could pretty much make it so it would be really hard to like just pinpoint a player on defense that you attacked. That seems to be what the playoffs evolve into. So I think, I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think they might do something drastic like that, to where you allow centers to protect the rim. And if that's the case, guys like Donovan Clingan and Zach Edey, those kind of guys, I think, would move up a little bit. If you could just park them around the basket and not have defense at 3 seconds, and they wouldn't get hunted in the pick and roll, I think that would be something to where rim protection would be a little bit more important, and mobility, switchability wouldn't be quite as awesome. I mean, you still could. You still could play man and switch everything if you had the right team, but yeah. International goaltending rules, says Jeremy. Yeah, that'd be. I kind of like the international goaltending rules, where once it touches the rim, you can touch the ball. It's weird though, because in the Olympics, especially with Team USA, you never really see it come into play that much, because I feel like all the players just forget you can do that. But yeah. Austin asks where I have Edey. I have him fringe draftable, so like end of second rounds / just outside of the second round. I think he's fine. I don't know. I personally don't like kind of immobile centers that can't switch on to quicker players at all. I think he'd just get, unless they change the rules, I think he's just going to get pick and rolled to death in the NBA. Matt says we should bring back chain-linked fences around the court. So can you, like, body check people into the fence then? Yeah, hockey style. Yeah, I think I would like to see like the plays where a person, like, yeah, like they don't. This was supposed to be taken out of the game last year, which drives me crazy. They had the right idea with the rule, but uh, it's a case where yeah, I'd like to see them take out where you don't make a basketball play, like you pump fake and then move like 4 feet to the left and then the person hits you. Because like if the person jumps to your side, you shouldn't be able to do that. And they're supposed to get that out of the game, but it's just kind of frustrating that it's still in there. Or yeah, like you just like lower your shoulder into someone and you get the call. It should be a no call, or you should get an offensive foul for that. Mute That Bozo says, no more jump balls. Trivia questions will decide the matter. Interesting. Where do I have a Dembona? He's really good. He's one of those players. If he was center sized, I would have him a lot higher. I think he's going to struggle as a power forward in the NBA. So he's just a tweener. He's a good college center, but in a bad situation, like you said. But I don't know. I don't know. Early to mid second round is where I have him right now. My Mount Rushmore of Blazer players is truly Spencer PDX. Like my Mount Rushmore of Blazer players, or like who I think the 4 best Blazer players of all time are. Because that's a different. Who'd have winning the national championship? Man, this is such a hard year. I don't know yet. So mine is Dame Drexler. Um, I mean, if it's mine, I can't include players that were before my time. So, uh, like Bill Walton's obviously on the Blazers Mount Rushmore, but for me personally, I never saw him play outside of a 6-man role in the Celtics when he was off. So yeah, I'd say Drexler, um, Dame, Brandon Roy, and fourth guy is tough. Man, I like so many players. Um, I mean, for me, it comes down to who else I want to pick off of the '90s team, because that was my team. So it's either Porter or Kersey probably, and yeah, I like them both a lot. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but I'll say Porter because he's a better player, but um, Kersey was awesome. Kevin asks, is Bronny an NBA caliber player? I believe he is. I think his feel for the game, his defensive instincts, his passing ability um, are too good for him not to be okay in the NBA. But I do recognize that because of the hurt thing, he hasn't really done much this year at USC. So I don't know if he's there yet or could be in the next couple of years. But I do think he is being somewhat undervalued because people just assume it's just like a nepotism thing. Yeah, I think one of his main problems is I think he's going to be like when he's measured like 6'2", 6'3", and he's not really a point guard. So unless he develops handles like a point guard, because he's got the passing ability to be a point guard, but not the handles. So if he does develop that, he could be all right. But I still think he's like I have him in the 20s on my rankings. Like I don't or like borderline late 20s, early 30s. So like fringe first, second rounder. I still believe in him as a prospect. Saw him live, and yeah, I was really impressed with his athleticism and just the way he moved and saw the game. I was also impressed with Collier. I know Javon, if he was in here still, would say the opposite because he was also at that game. But yeah, I don't know. I came away with that, being impressed with both of them. I do think like if he's in this draft, obviously Alex Sarr and um, Ryan Dunn are clearly the best two defenders in my mind in this draft. But yeah, I think Bronny could be the third best player this draft. Sorry, I watched Jonathan Mogbo last night as your Gonzaga Bulldogs came out strong in the second half and took a huge lead. JP Sevi says, how tall is Chomsky? They say 6'11". I don't know. He might. It's so hard with this draft, man. Everyone seems smaller than they are. But yeah, I don't know. I got Furphy around 20 right now. I want to see him a little more. I don't know how set I am at having him either that high or that low. I don't know. Do I think Cooper Flag will be a generational prospect? Yes, I do. I think he's going to be really good. Generational is a tough thing to say, but I think he's going to be a multiple time All-Star. YYC says, when you saw Curry as a rookie, did you think he would turn out that good? I actually really like Curry. Obviously, his last 2 years at Davidson, he was really good. Yeah, so I thought he was going to be good. I thought Minnesota was stupid for taking Rubio and Johnny Flynn over him. Although I thought Rubio would be better than he was as well. I mean, he had a long, nice career, but not like a star or anything. But yeah, I thought they were dumb for not taking him. And then I don't know. I've told this story many times, but his first summer league game, he I was at the game before that, which was the Blazers game, and I was with my wife, and she thought it was a Make-A-Wish kid getting to play in a summer league game, Steph Curry. So I just laughed. I was like, no, that Steph Curry is one of the best rookies in the league. He's gonna dominate. Watch. And so yeah, but yeah, always funny. I always have to give her a hard time about that because, I mean, I don't blame her. He looked like he was 12 or something playing in this game. It was hilarious. But I had to explain to her that he was actually really good, and she just did not understand how that was possible. I mean, it's not as bad anymore, but back then it was really bad. What did I think of Sharif Cooper as a prospect? I didn't really think too highly of him. I had him like late second round grade, I think. What do you think of Jalen Suggs as a prospect? I had him as the third best prospect in that draft. Obviously, he struggled his first couple of years. This year, he's looking like the player we thought he'd be, at least defensively, better than maybe we thought. I mean, he's got. I think he should be on an all defensive team this year. He's been that good on that end. I don't know if he'll get it or not, but he's going to be, I think, in the running for all defensive teams throughout his career. And if his offense continues to come along, I still think he's got pretty high upside. So yeah, I like him a lot as a prospect. But you gotta be able to shoot as a guard, as we're talking about with Portland. But been very impressed with his defense and just overall. I think he's got the right mentality. I think he's got a good feel for the game. Much like I was talking about with Bronny, he just doesn't have the greatest efficiency. So if that ever comes around, Herb Jones better make it this year. Yeah, I think he should be as well. Bazelis, I forgot where I had him. It's like somewhere between 6 and 8, I think. Um, TC Sports Legend. It's tough to know highest chance of Blazers of getting people because we don't know where their picks are yet. But I'm going to talk about prospects all the time. If you want, go the last post game show on Wednesday, or no, Tuesday, whatever night that was. Tori and I actually went through our top 20 big boards, and there's a lot of players on mine that aren't necessarily as high up there on other boards. So we're both really high on Deron Holmes too. I think would be a good pick for the Blazers. But yeah, is last year's draft better or worse than predicted? The 2023 draft. I I think it's been really good. I mean, um, I obviously Scoot has had his struggles at the beginning of the year, but he's hopefully going to be playing at a higher level as he moves forward. But I mean, a lot of those players in the draft have been really good. Brandon Miller's been awesome. Wemby's obviously been awesome. The Thompson twins, it's especially the men has been kind of hit or miss playing time wise, but they both shown some flashes of stuff. Um, yeah, I still like all these players in the draft from this past year. Some of them haven't even gotten much of a shot yet. Taylor Hendricks is finally starting to play for Utah and looking pretty nice. Um, Jarris Walker just can't get on the floor. I don't know why, but that's been kind of frustrating for me. Who's my favorite player not on the Blazers that's never played for them? Um, that's a tough question. Like, I don't know. I hated Jordan. I hated Kobe back in the day. But then I end up like looking back. I respect and like them a lot. Um, I all time I'd say Hakeem. Hakeem Olajuwon. Just tremendous all around game. Just fun player. Had all the moves. Um, yeah, so I really like Hakeem. And man, if we just would have won that coin flip, those that don't know, 1984, we had the Pacers, I believe it was, first round pick. And it tied for, well, back then it was the worst team in each conference. Had a coin flip for the first pick. And we lost the freaking coin flip. Got the second pick, picked Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan at 3. And then, so yeah, we took Sam Bowie at 2. And Hakeem Olajuwon went 1. He was college teammates with our star Clyde Drexler. So they would have gone on to become. That was one of the reasons why Clyde wanted to go to Houston in '95 was because he wanted to play with the team. So I think that would have been my thing. What's weird is I don't know what I think about Giannis anymore. But when he won in 2021 and just seeing him sit there like that, I got kind of emotional, man. Just so like I don't know if he's like my favorite player not on the Blazers. I don't think I'd say that, but I just thought that was a cool moment, just seeing him win, and it made me wonder what that moment would have been like for Dame here in Portland if he was ever given a legit chance to compete. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of a different player. But yeah, I don't know. But he also kind of seems like down to earth, or as much as you can be for being one of the best players in the world. I don't like. I hate Jokic too, but like, I love his game. Like, it's just he's like this non-athletic body that dominates all these like super athletes. It's like yeah. Um, I LeBron's weird, man. I don't know. It was really cool. All the hype. That was like the first guy that had like high school games on TV and stuff like that. Um, I mean, it was awesome. And then up until he left to Miami, I mean, I I would say I rooted for him, but I really liked him and that team and stuff. Um, and But then, yeah, I don't know, just going to Miami and stuff. But then when he won in 2016, that was also a really cool moment in sports history. And um, yeah, but I don't know. Going to the Lakers, that kind of ruins it for me. Yeah, I'm not necessarily blaming him, but Brandon Carr asked my thoughts on Banton. Well, towards the beginning of the show, I talked about Banton for a little bit, and then got asked again and talked about him. But just real quick, I think Banton's fine as like an into the bench guy. Still has a little bit of room to grow into more than that. But his contract situation and the Blazers salary cap situation is going to be tough for him to be on the team moving forward. So I don't know what's going to happen after the season. So I'm trying not to get like too attached to players because we don't have many free agents. So there's not going to be a lot of turnover outside of Cronin actually making some trades and changing over the roster that way. So they do have to make some moves before they can even keep Banton, I think. So we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah, I liked Tim Duncan. I saw someone mention him earlier too. Another boring player, but just winner man. Also, when I was younger, for some reason I liked Wake Forest randomly. So yeah. Matt says Sharp is the only untouchable Blazers right now. Everyone is fair game. Um, I I don't think they're in a trade scoot. I think he's pretty untouchable in their mind too. Sergio asks if Cronin's going to go back into super duper win now mode this summer. Probably. He's always in super duper win now mode. Or close to super win now mode. Or whatever he said about this team before the season. Yep. But that's, I mean, I've talked about several of them in the show, but there's so many what ifs for the Blazers. And another one added that list would be what if they would have made a big trade to get Dame, another good player to play with when he was still here. So that's just something that I'll always wonder about. Yeah, I hated the Spurs, but I liked Tim Duncan. That's weird. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the show. Once again, I appreciate everyone for watching and thanks for interacting. Um, Definitely makes it more fun when you guys are active, and you certainly um, made it fun tonight. Um, I don't know, John Nash. It just depends on when the committee gets that done. I'm not sure if it would be before the draft because the draft is like right after the finals. So I don't know if it would be announced by then or not. Truly Spencer says, "Do you think Jaylen Brown would have been enough to pair with Dame?" Not enough on his own, but I think if you added Jaylen Brown to Dame and Grant and Sharp, Nurkic or Aiden or whoever was our center, I definitely think that team would be up there in the running for home court right now. I mean, Jaylen Brown's been a really good number two on a winning team for pretty much his whole career. So I don't know. I think he'd be fine. I think Jaylen Brown. I mean, some of it I guess is fair, but I just think he's almost becoming underrated. Not obviously his contract doesn't ever make him underrated, but so many people like just make fun of him or hate on him. He just become one of those players that never gets any love. And I'm not saying he's like an elite player, a top 10 player, or anything like that. But I mean, the guy can play, and he's. I mean, I think the last time Cal made the tourney was when he was there. They didn't. They don't make it very often. Um, at least recently. I go back to like Jason Kidd days, I guess, but there's I don't know. I think he's a little underrated in terms of winning, and I mean you see what teams that don't have more talent than that team would have had do it, but you still would have had to have some defenders off the bench. You would have had to have some defense, some shooting. Is what I meant to say. So you still would have had to fill out the rotation. You couldn't have just done that and been like, oh, we're contenders now. But yeah. All right. Well, once again, thank you to everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully, Tori will have new internet and to talk to us about. and everything will be smooth. He said he was going to spend his day tomorrow yelling into his phone, presuming that's at a cable person. So hopefully they can figure out why he has had so many connection issues. And but yeah, until tomorrow, enjoy the game tomorrow night if you dare watching it. Hopefully you guys can power your way through it so we can talk about it a little more. And then we'll also get Tori's thoughts on both the game tonight and the game tomorrow night. And just appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a great Saturday and rest of your Friday night. And until next time.